Hello everyone. Hi. How are you guys doing? Okay, so we're on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Okay, so we're on day 5 since the flat thing. Network Homes got back to me. Sarah spoke to me, and apparently, according to Sarah, both Sarah and Iris, Samira Igal had already moved out by the time I'd gotten over there and did what I did. Now, you all saw from that footage that there was bed spreading there. Her laptop wasn't there. Nothing else was there. There were 2 delivery packages there. There was a whole bedspread there. Okay. There was also some clothes in the wardrobe, which is how I know or how I suspect that she hasn't actually moved and that it was a setup the entire time. Also, if you note throughout the video, nobody stepped to intervene because people were here during that time. Nobody stepped in to intervene, nothing like that. And even now, it's been day 5 now, and the police are still not here. So what you guys have to do is kind of put 2 and 2 together as to why everything's happening the way that it's happening. Do you understand what I'm saying? If she has moved, because the thing is, let's be clear, okay? Next door, as you all saw, there is a wardrobe like that's adjacent to the wall where my shelf is. Here, right? There's a wardrobe adjacent to the wall where my shelf is, right? So if somebody wants to spy on me through that wall in particular, what they would have to do is they would have to move the hangers in order to be able to do it. They would have to move the hangers, or what that bitch could do is knock the hangers from that wardrobe in order to disturb me. But here is not the only place that I've also been hearing noises. It's not just from this place in the wall or this place in the wall. It's also been from this place in the wall, right? And do you remember that YouTube video that I showed you guys? When she was making noise and throwing stuff, I was sitting right here on the bed, and this was the angle where she was throwing stuff at the wall from. So if she really wants to throw something, she will throw it from this part. If she wants to move some hangers around in order to spy on me and see what she can get out of me, she'll move here. If she wants to throw something light at the wall so that the what you call it there, so the thing can't make it out, so the dictaphone can't make it out, she'll either throw something here, or disturb the railings or disturb the hangers. So I know I'm not hearing things. I know what the fuck I heard. Okay? So if she hasn't been in there for weeks, somebody's been in that flat. She said the contractors have been in, and which could be entirely plausible. Sarah says the contractors have been in, which could be entirely plausible. But I don't buy it because Samira's already been here more than once since that incident. Okay? Now, well, I can't say I know for sure, but I have heard her here. I heard her here the clearest on Saturday. And she was telling somebody, oh no, somebody was throwing my things around and throwing my things out the window. I heard her voice. So she's clearly been here. If she's moved, and she moved 4 weeks ago, 4 weeks, do you understand the amount of stuff that was scarce in her flat? Like when I went over to her flat, when she tried to force herself to be my friend and invited me by force and by bribery to go in her flat, she didn't have that much stuff there to begin with. She didn't even have that much stuff there to begin with. It was sparse. I know damn well that if she was going to move out 4 weeks ago, it would not have taken 4 weeks to clear out the entire flat. That's how little possession she had. And yet you're going to leave a bedspread there? You're going to leave your clothes there? Even if you don't want those clothes, even if you don't want that bedspread, you could have easily just said, look, Brent, mine, because you could have easily did what I did. Look, check this out. Check this out. I want to show you guys something, right? This is what I do with shit I don't want. Now, this is quite messy. This is a messy situation. But you see, I've got a bag here full of stuff that I don't want. A black bag full of stuff I don't want. a black bag full of stuff I don't want. So if I don't want something, I make sure I pack it up. And I make sure that at least somebody is able to carry it out. What I'm not going to do is have a fucking bedspread spread neatly across the bed. I'm not going to do that if I don't want to be there or if I'm moving. That doesn't make any sense to me. That does not make any sense to me. So yeah, quite obviously a setup. But at the same time, if they hadn't set me up, which was an obvious setup because they knew I was coming over there, I'd been announcing it for weeks. I said, keep fucking with me. I'm coming over there. So they've known for weeks that that's what I was going to do. So even if she has moved, it's still a setup because they knew what I was going to do before I got there. They knew that noises triggered me because of her behavior. They knew I was going over there. So there are so many things about that statement that just don't make any sense. That just don't make no damn sense. How do you behave like that if you're moving? That's why I left the video up there. I know it makes me look bad and I know it incriminates me, but there's also evidence that, you know, when you really look at the video, it doesn't sit right in your spirit. You mean to tell me you're moving and you're going to leave clothes there on a hanger? My dude? Let me check something now. Yeah, look. Check this out. There's clothes down there. Still. You mean to tell me you have them motherfuckers on hangers and you're moving? Please. It's quite obvious what was going on. About the contractors have been in. What, the contractors are working around somebody's discarded clothes? You taking a piss? So somebody's lying. Or they made a decision to move her out weeks ago and they knew I was going to kick off hearing the slightest noise because I've been triggered, and they knew that this was the perfect situation to set me up with. But hear what? Before I even kicked off on Thursday, I had asked them to send me a surrender tenancy form a week before. So even then, the whole thing doesn't make sense. The whole thing stinks. The whole thing is a fucking lie. I don't care what anyone says. The whole thing is a fucking lie. Now listen to this conversation. I'm going to play it through and I'm not going to interrupt. I'm not going to say anything. I just don't buy it. This whole situation stinks. I don't buy it at all. But I'm going to play this recording for you because this is my conversation with Sarah. I'm going to play it for you now. Hang on. I don't know. They said we can help you. I don't know. Basically, I was talking online about something that affected me here. And I only mentioned Network Homes in passing. Next thing I know, Network Homes contacts me and says, you know, we can help you, but we'd rather help you through the DMs and like all that stuff. There's nothing really that you can help me with because my main issue is with Brent Mind. So I'm having to iron that out with them. Yeah, so the thing is that what I don't get is, you know, if you're going to tell me to handle things privately, at least ask me what the issue is and then tell Sarah to call me. Do you understand what I'm saying? But now, like, things just haven't... To be fair to them, they did ask me what the situation was. They did ask me, but it was clear from the response that they gave me that, you know, I was going to try not to interrupt. I'm sorry. It was clear from the answer that they gave me that I didn't read it through and they didn't hand the details to... Well, they probably would have handed the details to Sarah, but they clearly didn't read it. So for her to call me up and say, oh, how can we handle this? Again, watch what happens here. Like, this is just ridiculous. This is bullshit.
Been done properly. What, for Network Homes or Brent Mind? Well, both. I mean, first of all, Brent Mind has to take, take the brunt of this because of everything that's happened. But, huh? Yeah. Well, Brent Mind has to take the brunt of this because of everything that's happened. But I'm not going to lie to you, for Network Homes to come out of the woodwork just because I mentioned their name once in passing, and then instead of investigating the situation, they immediately put me forward onto you to talk to, only for you to ask me what's going on. That's not professional. No, I clearly know what's going on because I've spoken to you before. Yeah. The ladies who deal with the Twitter account obviously don't know what's going on. But they didn't ask. They didn't ask. They could have asked and they chose not to. Because
That's not true. They did ask. They did ask. They just didn't pay attention to the answer.
they would put you through to myself to deal with it because they don't deal with issues like that. They're just the media team. They're not like the housing team. They're a media team. Okay. So, and I have spoke to Rachel and Dominic last week. Dominic? Yeah. Who's Dominic? Dominic works for Brent Mind. I've never heard of him. Okay, he works for Brent Mind. I have advised them that obviously your accusations are very serious, and they've told me they've already investigated them. Yeah. But I have asked them to make sure they log all your issues with the police in order for it to be sorted out properly. I've been doing all that already, so basically we're just going around in circles. Well, I think the allegations are really a police matter. Well, I've been calling the police, and the police are investigating it now, so it's not like I haven't been talking to the police. You know, the police don't do anything, and nobody does anything. So, what would you like me to do? Well,
That patronizing tone, what would you like me to do? Do you know who else said that when I approached her directly? Samira Igal. I told her to piss off and leave me alone, and she told me like, what would you like me to do? That's the standard fucking sentence that perps use whenever they've been backed into a corner and they know their job is to hurt you and they know their job is to make sure you're as fucking pissed off as possible. What would you like me to do? That's what they constantly do. They already know what you want them to do. So they're just being vindictive and condescending and narcissistic as usual.
I don't know what more you could do at this point, because if you're a liaison for Brent Mind and you've already asked them to investigate it, and you've already suggested everybody talk to the police, and I've already spoken to the police, I've already spoken to Brent Mind, I've already spoken to everybody that I could possibly speak to about the harassment that's been going on. I've spoken to everybody. Okay. So my thing is this just seems like an exercise where we're just going around in circles and wasting time. Okay. Well, I'm just going to give you a courtesy call. I really don't think it was a necessary.
Okay, so she said it was a courtesy call. I don't know why the sound was cutting out there, but she said it was a courtesy call.
Thing to do if all we were going to do was go over the same ground, because I thought maybe you had another accommodation for me or something like that. But then again, it wouldn't be your responsibility. That would be Brent Mind's responsibility. So this is honestly just a useless conversation. It would be, you'd have to go back to Brent Council and not Brent Mind. I've done that too. I've contacted Locata. I contacted Locata months ago. They didn't get back to me. Instead, Brent Mind got back to me and started asking me about medications. So clearly, if nobody...
That's true. I've got the footage of it here. I said that I wanted to leave. If you guys remember from my social media, I sent an email to Locata stating that I'd been going through domestic abuse that Brent Mind had done nothing about, and Brent Mind was involved in corruption. That was the meeting that took place on the 20th of July 2019 when David, the former support worker, was there and Esarad, the manager, was there. I don't know what the hell's going on with management. I don't know if he's still the manager. I don't know what's going on there because Sarah brought up Dominic. She didn't bring up Esarad, which I found weird. So, yeah, let me just play on because, yeah.
is helping me, then it's a government problem, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, my thing is this: how did a harassment case that should be simple to solve, the police ain't solving it, Brent Mind ain't solving it, nobody's solving it. So obviously this is a government issue, isn't it? Obviously there are back payments being made to people in order to cause me as much grief as possible.
I don't know.
Okay. Well, sorry. What I meant by that, not back payments, but what I meant was payments behind the scenes, backhanded, payments behind the... That's what I meant. I meant backdoor deals. Okay? So my thing is this. This is a simple harassment case that should have been wrapped up ages ago. It should have been a 3 warning strikes and you're out situation because I had evidence upon evidence of what these people were doing. And yet what happens? This is exactly why I complain. It's not so that they can do something about it. It's so that you can see how deep the corruption, negligence and abuse goes when it comes to mentally ill people anyway, let alone when those people are TIs. So this is why I keep making reports so that you guys can see what's going on. There is no fucking way in hell that a simple harassment case should have gone to this level before people even think to do anything about it. Like it's clearly mobbing. You're clearly trying to mob somebody out of their house and you're leaning on their mental illness in order to make sure it makes sure it happens in a way that protects your reputation. That's what I meant. And I should have said that. But again, I don't think when I'm pissed off. I don't think.
I do.
I mean, obviously it's a police matter that they'd have to deal with it. I can't deal with them sort of allegations.
It's not about allegations. It's just that surely it's a domestic abuse situation. And again, I've reported it to the police and there's evidence for everything that I'm saying. So really, either I should move or that person should move. Like, it's as simple as that, and yet nobody's doing their jobs and everybody's going around in circles.
But hasn't the person left now?
I don't know, because the thing is, I don't know. I don't think they've left, because the thing is
What number flat are you referring to?
number 6.
Hang on 1 minute. Yeah, they've moved.
When did they move?
I'm not sure, but I know the contractors are in there at the minute.
You're not sure? How are you not sure? You're the fucking landlord of the property and you're not sure? Why wouldn't Brent Mind have told you when they moved? So, already we've got conflicting stories here. Okay, the same story is Samira Igal moved out. That's the story that everybody's sticking to. But we've got Iris saying that she moved out 4 weeks ago. And then we've got Sarah telling me that that person's moved out, but she doesn't know when they moved out. You're the fucking landlords of the property. Would you not have the paperwork? Would it not be in front of you? How the fuck do you not know when this bitch moved out? You see, these little things are starting to not add up. Let me play further.
So this person's moved and nobody thought to tell me.
They don't have to tell you.
Okay, she's right. She's right. She's right about that. Nobody is obligated to actually tell me that Samira Igal has moved out. Nobody's obligated to tell me that. At the same time, there's a difference between telling me, oh, she's moved to her sister's and telling me, oh, she's moved out. So any noises that you hear from now on is not her. Anything that you hear from now on is not her. If you have diagnosed me with paranoid schizophrenia and you said yourself that I hear voices and I hear this and I hear that, why would you not think to tell me the first day that Samira Igal moved out? Why would you not think to tell me she's moved out now? So if you hear any noises from there, it's not her. Now, I'm not blaming Brent Mind for what I did on Thursday. What I did on Thursday is my responsibility and mine alone. I'm 34 years old. They're not responsible for me going over there. Okay? Sure, they knew I would get angry. They knew I would get angry and they tried to set me up with that. Sure, but I didn't have to go along with it. I didn't have to do that. I chose to. Okay? So let's get that out of the way. But if you're over here talking about me being paranoid schizophrenic and you say that I'm liable to make false accusations, then why did you not tell me straight away that Samira Igala moved to protect her from defamation of character, to protect her from false accusations, to protect her from possibly being attacked if she ever shows up again to pick up the rest of her stuff? Why would you not take every precaution to protect both parties? Open communication is the way that you do that. So why was that not done? Once again, nobody told Fabienne to go over there and bust nobody's shit up. Nobody told me to do that. I did that of my own accord. Something inside me even told me not to do it, but I thought, you know what, fuck it. I said what the fuck I said. If I don't stand by my word, then what does it say about me? And I told you before, it's important for me to stand by my word. It's important for me to be a woman of my word. If I say I'm going to do something, it's important for me to do it, regardless of the consequences, because that's what it means for your word to be law. Your word has to be your bond. If your word isn't your bond, then you just end up like these people, fucking around with mentally ill people and thinking it's a joke. So anyway, my thing is this. If it was genuinely a case of misunderstanding and I heard noises from next door and it was the contractors all along and not her, then that's on me. At the same time, this could have been prevented if you'd have just told me in the first place, she's moved out, so you can kill all that. That's all you had to do. You didn't have to leave it till the last minute. That's what leads me to believe that even if she has moved out, the whole thing's a setup. The whole thing's a fucking setup because we've got different stories now. Why are we getting different stories? But again, I didn't have to fall for it. So I take responsibility for that. But again, something stinks.
They don't have to tell me, but the thing is, just to put my mind at rest and so that nobody ends up making false accusations against people, that should have been told, no?
Oh yeah, we'd be down to Brent mine. Obviously, I just let me just make sure it is on the. Let me just make sure it is flat 6. It's moved.
Yeah, okay.
What number are you?
Have they moved or not?
I'm asking you what
Damn.
number you are.
You know I'm number 7. Have they moved or not?
Yes, I believe they have.
Right. Okay, thank you very much. I think that should be the end of the conversation.
Okay,
Because
then,
we're not getting anywhere. Thank you. Bye.
Damn. All right, cool. Yeah, I really don't think when I'm upset. Like, it was a waste of time, and it was just, I think the reason why that phone call happened was to stop me from going online and saying anything else. Because there's so much evidence stacking up against everybody, and I think the whole point was just to put my mind at rest or just pacify me so that, nothing ends up online again. But it's a bit late for that. We've got me committing a whole fucking crime, and that's all over the internet now. So it's like, yeah, it's a bit too little too late for that. But the thing is, everybody's trying to keep me calm, and everybody's trying to, it's not just the TIs that are trying to keep me calm. I appreciate you guys trying to do that. I do appreciate you guys trying to do that. But it's not just you guys keeping me calm. It's also the perps and the handlers trying to keep me calm because they can't handle me when I'm angry. So they're doing two things. I believe they're doing two things. I could be wrong about the second thing, right? The first thing that they're trying to do is they're trying to avoid having a conversation with me when I'm pissed off or when I don't like them, when they know I don't like them. Again, it's too late for that. Okay. Second, what they're trying to do is, instead of reporting everything to the police straight away, what they may actually be trying to do is trying to get me sectioned again. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't give a fuck if they try to section me or not this time. I actually don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck what they do. They threatened me with homelessness and sectioning so many times. The same fucking logic and ethics that they have is the same exact thing a pimp has, okay? We'll give you comfort, we'll give you money, we'll give you this, we'll give you that, as long as you put up with all manners of madnesses and abuse from us. It's the exact same fucking ethics as a fucking pimp. And it's at this point, I would rather face the consequences of my actions and face the consequences of being myself than to kind of hide away, play along, and just, you know, just not stand up for myself. It doesn't make me feel good to accept abuse from people constantly. And I've been accepting it all my life. I can't do it anymore. So consequences be damned. Let the shit be what it is. Okay? And as for this whole she's moved shit, maybe she has done. But the storylines don't add up. The evidence doesn't add up. Do you understand what I'm saying? And lockdown was lifted yesterday, so that should be interesting. Should be interesting to see what more fuckery unfolds over the course of the week. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's just ridiculous now. It's just ridiculous now. It was it's simple, open and shut. Simple. There's harassment, deal with it. Somebody wants to move, deal with it. Have you noticed that they're quite willing to threaten me with eviction and try to bring surrender tenancy forms into it? And yet when I asked for that document, suddenly everybody is all fucking thumbs and don't know what the fuck they're doing. That just goes to show you that it's all about control with these people, control and protecting their reputations. And let's be clear, the only reason why the media team from Twitter stepped in is not because Network Home saw the abuse. It's not because Brent Mine saw the abuse. It's not because Brent Mental Health saw the abuse. It's because all of you saw the abuse. That's the only reason why they're trying to pacify me and they're trying to do all this fuck shit. So the first thing they're trying to do is trying to avoid talking to me when I'm angry. The second thing, I would not be surprised if they're moving straight to trying to have me sectioned and trying to label me criminally insane or dangerously insane or something like that, right? But if that's the case, then why not get the police over here? You mean to tell me I'll go next door into somebody else's flat and bust their shit up and throw their clothes out the window and no police are called immediately? No police end up here immediately. It's been 5 fucking days. And as for the electronic weaponry stuff, the police already know. While I've reported Samira Igal for doing the stuff to my jaw and doing the stuff to my, doing stuff to my body, I've already said on my Twitter that she's not the only one firing the electronic weapons on me. I've already said that. Because that's not the way this works. The way this works is that it's not always one single person. It could be multiple people doing it at the same time. It could be one person from another part of town doing it, or from another part of the neighborhood doing it. It's not always just one person. The only reason why I know Samira Igal has been firing the weapons on me is because she's been talking about it. Just like the Romanian family who lived next door to the last house I was in. The only reason I know about it is because they were talking about it. And talking about shit, both Samira Igal and the Romanian family were talking about shit that I've been doing in my flat that nobody could possibly have known unless the shit was bugged. Do you understand what I'm saying? But the thing is, when you get stuff wrong, and when your PTSD does the work for you, not your paranoid schizophrenia, your post-traumatic stress disorder does the work for you. and you end up getting stuff wrong and you end up making mistakes, it becomes very easy from there for these narcissists to turn around and say, you're a liar, you're this, you're that, you're paranoid schizophrenic. This is why targeted individuals are so scared to open up about any mistakes that they make. Because they know the second they do make a mistake, or the second they do guess wrong, somebody will turn around and say, oh, you're paranoid, you're delusional. Fuck, I even did that myself as a TI when another TI accused me of being a perp. I ended up sounding like just like them fucking narcissists, even though I'm not one of them. That's why TIs, they don't like to make mistakes, and they don't like to admit that they made mistakes because of shit like this. Because you need to have your evidence on point, and you need to have your evidence locked tight. If it's not locked tight, you will be destroyed. And my thing is this, right? That's how narcissistic abuse works. That's how narcissistic abuse works. If you're an honest person and you do the right thing for the most part, and you try to stick by your word for the most part, the one time when you get something wrong, or the one time that you lie, or I didn't lie this time, but the one time you get something wrong, or the one time that you're dishonest, suddenly it unravels all your previous work that you've been doing. But I'm not allowing that this time. I'm not allowing that this time. Because even if I got the last situation wrong, even if I was wrong, there's a whole slew of evidence over the past 4 years of harassment that nobody's done anything about. Everybody saw me being pushed to breaking point repeatedly. Everybody's seen it, with Brent Mind doing nothing except perusing my Twitter and Facebook, looking for something that they can use against me so that they can cover it up and mob me out of my house, or mob me out of my bedsit, or mob me out of my flat. They do this all the time. And again, it's not just to TIs, it's also to mentally ill people in general, poor people in general. They're mobbing people out of their houses in droves. How do you think gentrification is happening? Crimes are going unresolved. People are being mobbed out of their homes, not only by other citizens, but also social housing associations, mental health charities, the health fucking sector, and multiple sectors of the health field. There are multiple people involved in this sort of social cleansing. I'm just one victim of many. And they know it. So if they're waiting for me to be calm, and if they're waiting for this to die down, if they're waiting for me to suddenly back down and be like, because they know me. They know that I might get angry for a time, but that anger normally doesn't last. But I got news for those people. What they're really waiting me for is for me to stop telling the truth, and it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And if they've got nothing to threaten me with, then that leaves them at an impasse. Because I don't give a fuck about them sectioning me anymore. I don't give a fuck about them making me homeless. I know what my principles are, and I know what I want. I want to not be abused anymore, but also I want that nobody else goes through this either. So that you can do your fucking worst and I'll do mine. And you motherfuckers have demonstrated you couldn't even handle me at 25%. So go ahead and do your worst. I will do mine. Simple. Simple. Do your worst. I will do mine. Can you guys clear something up for me? When somebody says go live, is it because they requested it? Can you guys let me know in the comments? If I get an invite with somebody to go on live with them, is it because they invited me? If that's the case, the next person that invites me to go live with them, I'll go live with them. But let me know though, and please bear in mind that the comments are really slow over here. So if it seems like I'm not answering you, I'm not doing it on purpose. But yeah. I don't give a fuck what these people do. I'm sorry. I'm past caring. This situation is ridiculous. You're mobbing pouring people out of their homes and you think that's not going to come with a consequence. I know how this world works. I know how this world works. I've been studying a little bit into human history. I know how this world works and I know how this goes. It's not going to be solved by people avoiding the worst case scenarios that you put in front of them. There are some of us who, many of us who are afraid and who are scared, and I get that. I get that. It's okay. You have every right to be scared. You're victims, and I would never ever presume to tell targeted individuals or mentally ill people how they should handle their shit. I would never presume to tell you how you should handle it. But the fact of the matter is that when these people start making threats, and let's get into that, by the way. Let's get into this, right? These people are abusing you. And your incentive for falling in line is supposed to be, well, we can be even bigger assholes and bigger psychopaths than normal. Like that's something to brag about. Like, really? Really? Stop. Just stop. There's got to be somebody. There are those of us who have to see through that and behave accordingly. So let them do what they need to do. I don't give a fuck anymore. Because what I'm focused on is that what's important to me is not that I have a comfortable life. What's important to me is that whatever situation I find myself in, I can survive. I'm just being realistic within the realms of, what I've achieved in my life, what I've done in my life. Internally, I've achieved a lot. But externally, let's be honest, I don't have that many qualifications. I don't have that many, my work history is crap. So I have to go by what I have to offer the status quo. And I don't have that much to offer. So I have to work within those parameters and I have to understand things from that perspective. And I have to kind of, do what's necessary from the perspective of somebody who doesn't have that much to offer the status quo. So I have to think, well, how am I going to handle this? Instead of avoiding what these people want to do to me, and instead of avoiding what these people threaten to do or what these people want to do, just prepare for it. The only thing we can do is be prepared. Because if there's anything that I've learned from human history is that whatever comfort we think we're getting, and it's not going to happen in the long run. We're going to pay for it one way or the other. And it's just like I said in the last video, we're all going to die at some point. One way or another, we're going to end up sacrificing our lives for something, whether we know it or not. So we have to decide what we're going to do it for. Me, knowing what's going to happen to me, I've decided that my life is going to be dedicated and my afterlife is going to be dedicated to ending abuse and promoting love and kindness, and especially towards vulnerable people, and especially towards TIs so that nobody else becomes TIs. That's what I'm dedicating myself towards. That's why I don't give a fuck what they do. Let them try and section me. Let them section me. Let them fucking imprison me. I don't give a fuck. I will survive. In any case. I'll probably thrive. I always do better when I'm in pain. For some reason. Although it slows me down. It slows me down, but for some reason I seem to just rise to the occasion when they try to do some dumb shit. But anyway, that was longer than I intended it to be, but thank you guys for watching the video. Thank you guys for sticking with me. And stay safe. I'm not talking about the fucking COVID, but I'm talking about stay safe. maintain your happiness as much as you can, because the world has changed and it's not going to get any easier. Please take care of yourselves. Take care. Bye.